Video productions can be broken down into three distinct areas, each covering a number of individual processes: pre-production, production, and post-production. For a successful production, it is key to undertake them in this order. When beginning the pre-production process, a useful technique is to produce a guide track that will help you build your edit. This can take the form of a voiceover that can be recorded simply with a standard laptop and webcam. It is at this stage important decisions around content should be outlined. With this backbone of the production completed, you can use other film styles to help add detail and interest. One useful technique here is to collect interviews with relevant specialists in the chosen field.
When you're asking questions in an interview situation, you want to make sure that the questions that you ask don't invite the interviewee to just give a yes or a no answer. A lot of the time you may wish to edit the questions out of the film completely, so you just have the answer, and if I sat here and just said yes, you'd have absolutely no idea what I was talking about or what the question was. It's vital to get the question put into context and the answer so that the audience knows what it is you're talking about. The important thing to think about when you're halfway through an interview, say you'll have your list of questions and maybe you're halfway through, don't just stick to those questions. You'll have the questions that you outlined to begin with, but listen. The key thing is to listen to what your interviewee is saying so that you can formulate 2 or 3 additional questions based on the answers that they've given already.
Some of the key techniques that I've used in filming interviews and filming educational programs is definitely the 5-shot. The 5-shot technique is really useful when developing any kind of interview or any kind of program. And what that is a close-up of the hands, a close-up of the face, over the shoulder, a big wide shot showing the environment, and then something interesting, something abstract, and an angle from somewhere else just to add a bit more of interest. And that's a really useful tool to help tell any story. Well, when framing a shot, it's really important to have one angle that is locked off and that covers the kind of standard interview framing, and that's from the belly button to a fist above the head. And it's that kind of framing that gives you a really secure angle that is consistent throughout any piece and allows you to have a piece of material that you know is going to be safe, and then you can cut away from that to other angles to help add interest or help explain the story. But having that one angle really helps to add a backbone to the interview.
Crossing the line is an important thing to be aware of when shooting any kind of interview.
So why is that?
Because it allows the camera to look into the space where the audience are.
And why is that a problem?
That never happens. It's like back in the days of theatre, the audience were always on one side. We're used to a certain structure where there's the barrier that the audience have from the TV environment. And when you suddenly look from the other side, it breaks that illusion and it just jars with what we're used to.
So this must look quite silly then?
It does, yeah.
Once the material you had outlined in pre-production is collected, it is then time to start the edit process. Using your voiceover as a guide for your edit, you are able to trim and align clips to add a visual reference to the material. As you begin to review your footage, you will also want to focus on the key pieces of information given. These should relate to the notes you had prior to filming. You may also find that additional comments or ideas posed by your interviewee may be useful and could be included. In addition to video footage, you may also wish to include a variety of other material in your film. Using a screen recorder app like QuickTime 10 or Microsoft Expression Encoder 4 allows you to record your screen's activity, and then you can import this directly into your edit. You can also export material from programs like Microsoft PowerPoint, which can be very useful when converting training programs into video resources. It is also important to be aware of the duration of your film, as this can have a serious impact on its usability. A good rule of thumb is to try to keep the duration to around 3 to 5 minutes. Once you have all of your media in your edit and you are happy that it fits the duration you require, it is time to export out your sequence and share it with your viewers. YouTube is the world's largest video sharing platform and a great place to share your content. For local playback, transferring your video file to a USB stick is a good option. If you follow these simple steps and never lose sight of your original goal, you'll be well on the way to producing engaging and useful video content.